Welcome to the Historian Crow. Today we explore a fascinating subject, spanning snapshots of history from Napoleon Bonaparte's conquest of Egypt to the era of Greeks and the Hellenistic kingdoms under Alexander the Great and the medieval period during the rule of the Mamluks. Our focus is on a single artifact that has been central to deciphering the ancient world, the Rosetta Stone. Before delving into the Rosetta Stone itself, we must first understand the city after which it's named. Rosetta, known in Arabic as Rashid, is a relatively modern city when compared to the ancient capitals of Egypt. Founded near the site of the ancient city of Bulbitin, known for its production of war chariots, Rosetta's early significance paled in comparison to other cities such as Thebes or Memphis, or even the known capitals of ancient Egypt. In the early Islamic period, however, Rosetta remained a small, less significant settlement, overshadowed by nearby Alexandria, a major cultural and economic hub. Of course, Alexandria was once the Greco-Roman capital, and continued to maintain dominance as a vital Mediterranean port well into the Islamic era, connecting Egypt to the broader world. Rosetta's fortunes changed during the late Mamluk and early Ottoman periods. Unfortunately, the city began to grow in prominence, becoming an essential port and economic center. Of course, unfortunately, that was for Alexandria, but Rosetta now was a gleaming star. It was during this time that fortifications were constructed to safeguard Egypt's northern Mediterranean border. One of the most iconic structures of this area is Fort Julian, also known by its original name, Qaid Bey Citadel, built by the illustrious Sultan Qaid Bey of the Mamluks, who was known to be a patron of art and architecture, as he also constructed Alexandria's more famous citadel, the Qaid Bey Citadel, which was actually built on top of the lighthouse of Alexandria, even using the same stones from before. Now, the fort in El Rosetta served not only as a military stronghold, but as an architectural marvel. The Sultan Qaid Bey's patronage of art, as mentioned, and architecture left a lasting legacy, and the fortification in Rosetta were critical in defending against Crusader incursions and other Mediterranean threats. Now, when Napoleon Bonaparte launched his invasion of Egypt in 1798, Rosetta became a strategic target. Recognizing the city's importance, the French occupied and fortified it, renaming Qaid Bey Citadel as Fort Julien in honor of Lieutenant Thomas Prosper Julien. It was during the French occupation that Rosetta Stone was discovered embedded within the walls of the fort. This discovery was accidental, however, as the stone had been reused as building material in the all too common practice throughout history. Really, it is the use of these ancient monuments as quarries for stone was widespread, seen not only in Egypt, but across the ancient and medieval world, from Rome to Constantinople and beyond. Temples, statues, and other structures were often dismantled with their materials repurposed for newer constructions. The Rosetta Stone, originally a significant artifact, had been reduced to a mere structural component of the fort. It was only during the French excavations that its historical importance was really recognized. The Rosetta Stone, as it is, was created during the reign of Ptolemy V Epiphanes in 196 BCE. It is inscribed with a decree commemorating the young king's coronation and solidifying his divine authority. What makes the stone remarkable is its triangular inscription. It's written in hieroglyphics, Demotic script, both representing an Egyptian language, and Greek. This combination allowed scholars to finally unlock the meaning of hieroglyphics, a script that had long been a mystery. Hieroglyphics, contrary to popular belief, were not a language but a script used for religious and ceremonial purposes. By the Ptolemaic period, hieroglyphics had been largely confined to temples and religious texts. The Demotic script, however, a more simplified and widely used writing system, served administrative and everyday purposes. The Coptic script, which came even after, which emerged during the Greco-Roman era, incorporated Greek letters while retaining some Demotic characters for the sounds that were not that the Egyptians were not able to produce using the Greek alphabet. Coptic represents the final evolution of the Egyptian language and remains in use today as a liturgical language of the Coptic Orthodox Church. It's also interesting to mention that the Greek alphabet itself is derived from Phoenician alphabet, and the Phoenician alphabet was itself derived from a Proto-Sinaitic alphabet in the Sinai Peninsula, which was also believed to have been derived from hieroglyphics. So it's kind of an interesting loop when you think of it, of how the Coptic script evolved. But when you see it right now, it looks nothing more than a modified version of the Greek script. But it is interesting to recognize the insights within the script itself. Now, as for the journey of the stone, we can see that the Rosetta Stone was likely originally erected in a temple in the city of Sais, or Sa al-Hagar, an important religious and cultural center in the western Nile Delta. Of the time, as Sais declined and its temples fell into disrepair, the stones were used for construction projects, including the fortifications in Rosetta. This process of reuse reflects the complex layers of history in Egypt, where ancient monuments often became part of medieval and modern structures. Well, the Rosetta Stone's rediscovery during Napoleon's campaign marked a turning point in Egyptology. Well, one could argue that it was one of the beginning of the golden age of Egyptology. The study of its inscription, particularly by the French scholar Jean-François Champollion, led to the decipherment of hieroglyphics, revolutionizing our understanding of ancient Egyptian civilization. The stone's inscription provided a linguistic bridge between ancient Egyptian scripts and Greek, offering insights into the language, culture, and the governance of Ptolemaic period. The history of the Rosetta Stone does not end with its discovery, however. After the British defeated the French in Egypt, the stone was taken and claimed by the victor, which were where the British Isles was located, and became part of the British Museum collection, one of the most prized artifacts there actually, where it still remains to this day. Of course, there still remains a replica of the stone, which can be seen in Rosetta. And it is a testament to the connection to the city where it was found. This dual presence, original and replica, symbolizes the stone's journey through history, from an ancient decree to a global symbol of linguistic and historical discovery. The Rosetta Stone is more than an artifact. It is a witness to history, from its creation in Ptolemaic Egypt, influenced by the ancient tradition of pharaonic times, to its use as being stone and a source of rebuilding for medieval fortification during the golden age of Mamluks that ruled Egypt and made it a regional superpower in the Middle Ages, to its rediscovery during Napoleon's campaign, and to where it sits now in spirit in the city of Rosetta in Egypt and flesh in the British Museum. The stone embodies the layers of culture and historical change that defines Egypt. The multicultural aspect of Egypt, its many identities, and the similarities that are shared between all these different identities that define Egypt. Its inscriptions unlocked the secret of hieroglyphics, bridging ancient and modern worlds. At the same time, its journey from a temple in Sais to a medieval fort in Rosetta and finally to the British Museum reflects the dynamic and often tumultuous history of the Mediterranean world. Today, the Rosetta Stone stands as the symbol of human curiosity and the enduring quest to understand the past. Thank you, and that was a brief summary of the Rosetta Stone, which gives us a glimpse of the history of Egypt. I hope you enjoyed the video, if you learned something new, or at least if we gave you a different perspective of this important artifact that defines Egyptian history. A history so convoluted and large, given that the Ptolemaic history is nothing but midpoint in the history of Egypt overall, yet countries so rich with history and culture, it is amazing how much a single stone can portray. However, is it the stone that gives this value, or the interpretation of the stone is what gives it value? After all, before the French, it was nothing more than wall support. So it's an interesting concept to think about. Whether you think the actual stone should return to Egypt or remain in the British Museum, or if it matters at all, well, it is an opinion that comes back up to you. But I believe the heritage, being conscious of heritage and understanding the impact that these artifacts embody and the significance that they hold, well, it's something interesting to think about. Well, much discussion can be thought and interpreted and analyzed, but it just shows you how beautiful history can be as it is trapped in this vestige of history and culture. Thank you very much, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe or not. And if you have any comments, we are more than happy. We actually would love to have your comments. We would love to discuss with you in our comment section. For anyone that is also passionate with history, we're still starting this channel, so we would love your support. And if you have any topic suggestions, we would also love to have that. And yeah, we will ensure to have like a diverse array of topics to make sure that the discussion as broad as possible. And thank you very much, and have a beautiful day.